Hello and welcome. I am the Restless Kaiser.
I am James Workshop.
And we are Modelling for Advantage.
I've even changed my pronunciation.
Have you?
I was saying Modelling for Advantage, and now I'm saying Modelling for Advantage.
John has that problem. You get a bit more northern as you stick around in channel.
Aye, now I've come round to your arse.
So James, we've played a series of 3 games of not Shadespire. I never even played Shadespire, and I call it Shadespire.
Warhammer Underworlds.
Warhammer Underworlds Nightvault. 3 games. Now, the games did take about half an hour or so, maybe a bit longer with the waffle. I was surprised at how hard it was to play. I don't mean like in terms of how difficult an opponent you were, how much attention it required.
It's a typical game of, it's very easy to learn, but very difficult to master.
Yep.
Especially when you don't know the deck. Once you've played a few games with the same team, like, I haven't played the Skeletons for ages. I haven't played the Spell God for ages. But I vaguely knew what was in my deck, and I knew what I wanted to do. I did terribly.
And you knew Legless Bob.
In that game, but I knew that Bob was going to be clutch. And he earned me points in that game. He earned me a quarter of the points I ended up having. But yeah, I knew vaguely what was happening, whereas you'd only played against my team twice. Like, there were cards you were never going to have seen. Stormcast do have the advantage of being tough as nails and normally very good. Like the 3 Stormcast teams that have been released so far have all been great. Like the Scouty ones.
The Vanguard, is it?
Yeah, Stormcast Vanguard. They're okay.
You can use them in Warcry. I think I was looking at that.
Oh, okay.
Did they get a little dog?
They get a Griffhound. Yeah. I don't know if it's not in Underworlds. They don't have a Griffhound in Underworlds.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry they didn't get the hound.
They didn't get the little dog?
No, which is especially annoying considering the Khorne got their own flesh hound. Which you think would be way more difficult to get somewhere. That Griffhound just like heal. You can't really heal a flesh hound, can you? Especially not when you're not a demon yourself.
But when you go down a pet shop in Khorneland, that's all they're going to have, isn't it?
I reckon they've got a section for...
dangerous reptiles.
No, what's the... I'll never remember what it's called now. Juggernauts. Juggernauts. Yeah, back.
Oh, mate. I don't think we're going to get them in this.
I suspect not.
Yeah, it was just an astonishing amount of concentration. If you're new to Shadespire... Underworld. If you're new to it, I would strongly recommend you play the Stormcast. Having played the Briar Queen, I was interested in those models. I got the kit because I wanted those models for Warcry. But those chain rasps, it was important to be able to try and use them, I felt. And they were all a bit different. And that was not good for my brain. Because I began to realise that like the Hanged Man actually got quite powerful when he converted, but he was still basically an idiot with 2 wounds. And therefore really vulnerable. And the kind of interaction between all of those. I liked them, but it wasn't a good starting team. Whereas these guys, you know that most of them, they're quite dangerous.
You feel powerful playing them as well.
They're quite forgiving. You feel that if there's a guy on his own, you can run over and kill him. Which I definitely didn't feel that when I was playing the Briar Queen.
No, because you'd swamp them in 3 people and they'd still be standing there.
No, you didn't make that easy for me in that thing. You pulled them back so I couldn't do that. But I found with these, I was looking for opportunities to run up and kill something without leaving myself too exposed. If that opportunity presented itself. So we didn't look too much detail into the deck building, and I know that that's kind of the next stage. I came to this thinking it's a game on a board with some nice miniatures, maybe make a nice sort of casual or 35-45 minute game at the end of a gaming session. I'm no longer convinced that is the case.
No, there was so much concentration game.
You have to concentrate.
This ain't a wind down game. That's
this is not a wind down game. No. Right.
If you get into it, and if you start enjoying it,
and you get to know your
warband, and you start getting to know other people's warbands, you can sit there and you can play 6 games in a row. But I definitely don't think you play a game of Age of Sigmar and you're like, I've got 45 minutes, you want to crack out the other game? Because it's such a different game. I do like the fact that there's so many options of different things that you can do. And in a competitive setup, there are good teams and there are bad teams. But if you're both novices and you're both just playing what's in the box,
you're all bad teams.
You're all bad teams. There are good ones. Like I reckon that they are definitely better than the Briar Queens. I don't have a question about that. But you can play the Briar Queens against them out of the box with a hope of winning. and a good hope of winning. It's not like you're feeling like, oh, this is a real challenge. This is an uphill struggle against those other guys.
If they overextend, you can kill them.
What I would like to do is exactly that. Just take the boxes as they are, play out of the box, like use the cards that are in there, use the generics, use the extra cards, make some decks that you think are going to work okay, and then just play like Troggoths versus Squiggoth, the Squig Riders. Just like play out of the box, have fun with it, and I think that's the best version of this game personally.
Rather than, because although the sets have come out like in seasons, there's no limit. So some people have got a huge pool of cards. I say huge; it's not like Magic huge, but there's lots of additional cards that they have from which they can build their decks.
It's not a huge amount, every single thing that you can buy for this game, if you add everything up that there's ever been, and you go somewhere that actually has a discount on Games Workshop sales, then...
this guy owns a store that does that.
A little bit, 15% off, 20% for members. If you do that, it's like 200 quid investment, which is a lot of money. That's not a small amount of money, but you can pay that in £17.50 increments, which ends up at like 14 quid once you've taken a discount off. You can pay for it in £14 increments after you've bought a £40 box. And like once a month you can treat yourself to a new team, and you've got a whole new world of things to do with them. That was the attraction of it for me. I started from the beginning. When Shadespire came out, I was sat there the day before it came out like, oh, this is awesome, having no idea what I was doing, and I still don't to this day most of the time, but it is a fun game to sit down casually. I've played this in pubs multiple times. You just like take a box down with your stuff in it, and you sit opposite somebody and you just play a game.
Taking it down to the pub to play a game, we talked, if I can, we said about it not being, it's not a wind down game, but it is a brief game. So rather than thinking about that kind of when the gaming session is over for the last half an hour, you're waiting for a lift or whatever, but maybe in that hour before the game as people are arriving, if you're open or whatever, that's the time for this game. When you're still fresh, you've got your best brain out, you're expecting an evening of gaming, but you know, you're waiting around for whatever reason. For whatever reason. You drop the kid, you pick the kids up from school, you've had your dinner, you're at the club an hour before the game session starts. This is exactly that kind of game. If you're the kind of person who isn't concerned about a feel-bad game, go for it.
That's true. If you feel like my skeleton's got pretty smashed. I pulled it back in the last second
You pulled it back pretty strongly.
To not be completely destroyed. But I was doing terribly throughout the entire game. And I can take that. I've played a million games of a million games. And I really don't care whether I win or lose.
That's not
I enjoy the process. But people who are liable to get into Underworlds are going to be competitive players. So if you and a friend, so this is every time I've played this at a pub, it's me and a friend who both don't care. Like we're there because we enjoy the game, we enjoy each other's company, and we enjoy a beer with it. If you are with somebody that you know that's fine, this is an excellent game. But if you and a pickup, like you went down to an event and somebody else had their Shadespire stuff with you and they're about to play in a tournament and they're like, do you want a quick game before we start? I'll get a warm-up. They're going to smash you. They're planning to smash you.
So, the second game that we played, you know, I was struggling to hold back the tears there. I was getting crushed. To be honest, if it wasn't on video, I probably would have said, do you know what? This isn't going anywhere. But I was learning the game and so forth. This game is intended to be played over a period of rounds. You're going to have good draws and great games. You're going to have bad draws and bad matchups, and you're going to get smashed. But you'll be done in half an hour. Fresh draw. But, you know, look at
like with any good game, conceding is part of it.
Conceding is
tactical conceding.
Tactical conceding to preserve
the feeling that you have for the game, where you're like, you know what, that's that. Let's move on.
All right. Well, that was Warhammer Underworlds Nightvault. I enjoyed it. I think we'll look at maybe doing what you said, get those specific war bands, and they come with their own sort of pre-built decks and a sideboard. Is that right?
It's not quite a pre-built deck and a sideboard. It comes with, so you build a 20 card deck. It comes with 30 cards for you to build a deck out of.
Right. But it's going to include all of the key cards. Maybe not.
It includes.
We'll have a look.
It includes enough stuff for you to play.
Includes enough stuff for you to play again.
We'll do that in future.
Let's have a look at that in a future video. I hope you found this video useful. I've now learned how to play Warhammer Underworlds, and I think it's something that I will play again in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for watching.
So there's about 5 minutes on the beginning of the video where we were just chatting shit.
Yeah, but that's easy enough.